Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Kim. I am an author and an illustrator, and here on my channel I love to create content about books, writing, and just all around lifestyle. Today I bring you a very, I suppose, untraditional video. I have been thinking about doing a video like this for a while, of sharing some thoughts about the year, and I just figured that it was a great time to do it now since we're halfway through the year already. We're in June, and I figured that I would just do like a mid-year check-in, share some of my thoughts of how this year has been so far. To be honest, I'm a little scared, I don't know why, to share this video, or just not scared, but I'm just feeling nervous to record this video because things that I want to talk about are things that I haven't mentioned before. But one thing that I did promise myself that I wanted to do for my channel is just to be an open book, to be honest with my viewers, and I want to share that with you guys. I want to share some of my thoughts of how this year has been as a creative, as someone who is an illustrator, as someone who is a writer, and just life in general as a human. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit nervous, a little bit, I don't know if scared is the right word, but that's the word that keeps coming up. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now, because these are things that I've been thinking about for the longest time, but I haven't, I suppose, gotten the nerve to record this video. So here I am. I thought that I would just do it now since we're in June, and just give a little mid-year check-in and share some thoughts with you guys. I don't have any sort of structure on how I want to go about this video. Usually I'll have an outline of things that I want to talk about. I have sort of an idea of things I want to mention, but honestly, I just want to chat with you guys and sort of just express how I've been feeling lately and how this year has been on me, on my mental health, on my life, and hopefully someone out there, I don't know, finds it helpful, or maybe it makes other folks feel less alone in their own struggles. With that being said, friends, let's just jump into the video. Also, quick note, in no way anything that I mentioned in this video is me complaining. I'm very grateful for all the opportunities that I've had, but also on that same breath, there are very much underlying things that still have affected me as an artist, as a writer, as a human. And so in no way when I'm sharing any of these things am I complaining. I am just sharing my experience, my feelings with you guys. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that I'm not complaining. Very grateful for everything that I've had the opportunity to be a part of. So friends, we are in June. It has been already 6 months into 2024, and I want to say that this year has been the best and the most hardest year that I have encountered thus far in my life. And it's a very confusing place to be at, where there's so much to be grateful for, but also there's so much hardship that you're still dealing with that oftentimes doesn't let you be grateful for those things. As some of you may know, I recently published my debut book, Incantations Embodied. That was published through an indie press, and that experience has been beautiful, but also very chaotic. That experience took a lot from me, publishing and writing it. If you've seen my video where I'm answering some of your questions regarding my book and publishing, I'll link that video down below. So if you've seen that video, then you know that this opportunity that I got to write my book was a very untraditional, I would say, opportunity, where yes, it was going to be published through an indie press, but also I wasn't going to be getting in advance, which at the time when I accepted this offer sounded great, because at that time all I wanted to do was just to publish a book, and I was trying to just in some way be able to have that opportunity in whatever format that came. There's more to that story, but the reason why I'm mentioning that is because me taking that opportunity to write a book without an advance, which writing a book takes a lot. It's a lot of hours, it's a lot of time, it's a huge commitment, and I had to make some accommodations to my life, accommodations that have been very, very hard. I had to make a lot of time to write my book and to really focus on my debut book. And at that time, when I accepted the opportunity to be published through this very untraditional way, I was doing a lot of commission work. I had a shop where I was selling prints and stickers, and so I had to put all that on pause for me to be able to focus on writing this book. And me and my husband had to make some changes in our lives, some accommodations, in order for us to be able to, for me to focus writing this book and for it to be feasible without so much draining, I suppose, our pockets, because I wasn't going to be able to be making sufficient income for the sake of me writing this book. So we had to move. We had to move to my family's home. I'm currently living with my parents in this very spacious bedroom. That is our bedroom, and it's also our working space. My husband works from home, and we had to move. We had to let go of our little home that we were renting, and let go of that rent that we had and move somewhere where it was just going to be less financially stressful, in order for me to be able to have the leniency to be able to write this book without having to be stressed about rent or any sort of financial burdens. It was a very tough decision because, of course, who doesn't love their own space, their own privacy? And not to say that we don't have it here. We have a very big bedroom, but it has definitely taken a toll in my mental health. I currently live in a house with a lot of people because also my siblings live here, and I love my family first and foremost. I absolutely adore them. We have a great relationship. But where I'm at in my life, I very much love having my personal space, and especially as someone who had been having her personal space in her own little home with me and my husband and Dobie. It was great. It was amazing. And having to accommodate my life for writing this book has been extremely hard. And I bring this up because oftentimes as creatives, we sacrifice certain parts of our lives, certain parts of ourselves in order to continue to follow our aspirations and our dreams. And I find myself in a space where I feel like I've given myself away so much for my hopes and dreams to become reality that I'm sort of in a space where I'm experiencing the repercussions of the sacrifices that I've had to make, the things I've had to let go of for me to follow my hopes and dreams. And my living situation is just one of them. But there are so many other things that I've decided to let go of, to not pursue, not do, in order to focus my attention on my passions, the things I want to do as an illustrator, as a writer. Yeah, so I find myself in a very strange place in my life where there is so much to be grateful for, but also I find myself, I don't want to say bitter, but just upset about how much oftentimes as creatives we have to let go and sacrifice and do things in order to follow these pursuits. Of course, now I would do things differently when it comes to publishing my book. I would never write another book if I'm doing it the traditional way without an advance. And this is not to say anything on my publisher. My publisher has been great. They have been very supportive, and because they are a startup indie publishing, they weren't able to offer me an advance, but I am going to get royalties now that my book is out there. And I was very much aware of the decision I was making when I said yes to this deal with my publisher. So this is in no way me pinpointing it to my publisher. This is me just learning and growing and reflecting on my journey as an artist and as a creative, and I guess just speaking for all creatives on how hard it can be, and it is, being a creative in an industry where it tends to be very selective and not oftentimes are given the compensation, the support, the space to be able to make a living from the things that you're passionate about. I will be lying to you if I didn't say how many times I've sat here and in my desk or have gone to my husband. I have cried and I have complained and I have done all these things about how maybe I should just quit what I'm doing and just focus on maybe having a traditional job, whatever that is, right? Because oftentimes the work that I do isn't financially feasible for me, and it's always very hard having to rack up my brain on ways to be compensated for the work that I do. And it's very frustrating. It's so frustrating as someone who's very passionate about the work that they do, of writing and illustrating and sharing their work online, to constantly be showing up and doing the videos and filming the content and drawing the drawings and writing the writings, right? And still you look at all the amazing work that you feel you're doing and financially you're just not there, and it can very much suck and push you to the brink of just giving up and putting all this behind you and forgetting about it and going on to go and clocking in at a 9 to 5 and doing a traditional job. So I've had those thoughts many times. I've been on the brink of just doing that many times, but I'm very passionate about the work that I do, and I continue to show up because I feel like I have something great to say. I feel like I have something beautiful to share with the world, but it can be very hard when you're often not given the space in all the ways to be able to share your work, as well as being compensated for the work that you do. And I'm not just talking about my publishing experience, but I'm talking about you know, compensation as in, like, for example, I've been really consistent with pushing my YouTube videos and doing YouTube content, and still it seems like I'm not getting that far ahead. And then you see someone who posts their first video out there and boom, it blows up. Like, I don't know, it's very frustrating, and I'm amazed by all the creators that are able to do that and very happy for them. But also it makes me just a little bit sad about, you know, me consistently trying to put my work out there to make my work financially feasible, and still it feels like I get one step forward and like it goes 10 steps behind. So it's very hard. It's very hard being a creative and sharing your work on social media platforms. Even with Instagram, I have a pretty decent following on Instagram, and it seems like Meta or whoever runs these channels just are very selective with the content that is pushed out there. I have like 50 something K followers on Instagram. My Instagram I've been building for years, and it seems like the more years that go by, the less that my work is being viewed. And I don't know what the statistics are behind that and how that is even formulated, but it's just very frustrating as a creative to continue to show up when you see zero return on your hard work. And unfortunately, all those things really take a toll on my mental health, and it pushes me to the brink of just not doing this anymore, because we live in a world where obviously we need income to be able to survive, to put food on the table, to pay my bills, to clothe myself, to have a roof over my head. Needless to say, it has been very, very rough. And as much as there's so many things to be grateful for, such as my book is finally out. It's available everywhere where books are sold. It's at Barnes and Nobles, it's on Amazon, it's on bookshop.org, and that is such a beautiful and fulfilling feeling. And I more so try to lean towards all the beautiful things I've been able to accomplish, as well as all the things that I continue to show up for that seem not to help me in return. And it's a little daunting. It's very hard. It's very hard to continue trying and still seeing pushback from these social channels, from companies, from whoever. That in itself is very hard on artists' mental health. It kind of even gives you the impression that your work might not be good enough. So that's where I am. I try to lean more towards all the amazing people that comment on my videos, that engage with me, all the wonderful people over on my Patreon that support my work. I try to lean towards the folks that do resonate with my work and find the work that I share valuable, and that makes me feel like I am doing the difference that I wish to make with my work. But it's also very hard. It's very hard as a creative to continue to show up despite social media not being responsive, or I don't know what the word is, but not helping you out whenever you do share your work online. I've just seen a very sad decrease on my social media channels. And again, this is me not complaining. This is just me giving the harsh realities as what life has been for me as an artist. So that's real life, you guys. Artists battle back and forth between sharing their work and having to battle all these algorithms. And obviously we live in a world, in a capitalistic world, where we need income to survive. So sometimes it's very hard to outweigh your passions with sustainable income, and you're trying to find ways to make this sustainable. And I've been in the industry, I've been an artist going on to a decade, and it's still very hard for me. And so that's where a lot of these thoughts come in, where I'm just like, maybe I should just give this up. I gave it a try and call it a day or a decade and go on to doing something physically at a job where I go and clock in, because I have aspirations. I want to own a home one day. I want to start a family with my husband. I want to do all the things in my personal life outside of my career life where I need sustainable income, and unfortunately I haven't gotten to a point where that's doable. So this mid-year check-in, friends, it has been hard to say the least. Very random video, but I just wanted to share my feelings and my thoughts with you guys. I don't know if there's anyone out there who can relate. I don't know if this is even gonna get any views, to be honest, because it's not the usual video that I would share. Whether you related to my story or not, I feel like the overall message is that being a creative can be severely exhausting, that it can really impact our mental health. And if you're someone who is very passionate about showcasing your work, and you're very passionate about your message and the things that you want to share, and you still see that pushback, whether it's through social media or companies or however it is that you're sharing your work, and you're still seeing that pushback, it can be very detrimental to our mental health. And if you're someone that can relate to that, I feel you. And it's very hard. But one of the things that has been helping me currently is just trying to stay optimistic. And I will be honest, my optimism has severely decreased lately. I feel like my optimism is just burnt out right now. So maybe what I need is just a good old, I don't know, break. A break from life, if that's possible. But optimism for me in a way where I am planning future projects and trying to stay optimistic in that format, where I'm plotting them out, visualizing them and dreaming them up of what these future projects will look like, future books that I want to write, art that I want to share. I'm trying to stay optimistic in that manner. I don't know how that's gonna look like though, because when it comes to sharing all of that work through social media, lately it has been very hard to get that noticed or whatever algorithms to be picked up. So I don't know. I guess I just keep dreaming of one day putting that video out there or whatever, and it just sort of goes, I don't know, semi-viral, and people discover my channel, people discover my work. But it's very hard continuing to do this work without any sort of financial support from these platforms where I'm sharing my work. Anyways, friends, I hope this wasn't super boring or depressing or sad for some folks who watch this video. but the intention was just to be honest and to share my thoughts on what life has been halfway through the year and even last year. I don't want this video to be unmotivating for people or to sort of bring down your hopes on pursuing a creative field. Creativity comes with so many highs and beautiful things, but also it could be very hard. It could be very hard, and I still find beauty in sharing my work. It's so gratifying to hear from people how a video really resonated with them, or my art, or my words, or whatever it is that I share. It's very gratifying, and that will always be more gratifying than how many views I get or how many subscribers or whatnot. My main thing here is just that this work oftentimes right now in my life currently is not feasible. It's not being feasible for whatever goals and plans I have in my personal life. My work isn't sustaining those things I want for my personal life. But there are many amazing creatives out there where I've seen that it has been, or that it seems that it has been super feasible for them. But you never know. People are always struggling behind the camera, behind whatever they share. So you really don't know what's going on. But I just wanted to share a very sincere and honest look into what my life has been the last 6 months and even last year. It's been a lot. It's been a lot to handle and to maneuver through. Well, this is gonna be fun editing this video. Yeah. Well, friends, that's, I believe, just what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that this video resonates with anyone out there. If you're still watching, I don't know if there's people still watching this video until the end, but if there is, I hope that this video resonated with you, and I will stand my ground and continue to say the phrase I always say at the end of my videos, and that is to remember to create the life that you want, because you so deserve it. And I need to remind myself of that more often, because it's hard to envision oftentimes the life that you want when there seems to be life obstacles and financial obstacles in the way. But we deserve to envision that life for ourselves, and I'm gonna hold on to that little mantra that I say to myself at the end of these videos, and I hope you do too, because I'm very passionate about that. So with that being said, friends, thank you so much for being here. I will leave all the links to where you can find me down below, and please follow me there. Help me out and subscribe to my channel. Help me stay inspired and motivated, and follow me on these other platforms where I'm also at. Yeah, friends, I will see you in a video hopefully soon. Take care, and bye for now.